It's official. After 40 long days, the government shutdown is finally coming to an end. In a surprise late-night vote, the Senate has just passed a major funding bill to reopen the federal government, breaking through weeks of gridlock that left millions of Americans waiting, worrying, and wondering when help would come. The final vote was 60-40, and that means the bill now heads to the House for final approval before landing on President Trump's desk. 8 Senate Democrats crossed the aisle to vote yes, joining Republicans to pass a new deal, one that could have far-reaching effects, not just for federal workers, but for anyone relying on Social Security, Medicare, or SNAP benefits. Because here's the thing, this isn't just another temporary funding bill. Quiet changes were added in the final hours, and they could directly affect your healthcare costs, your next Social Security check, and even when your food assistance reloads. So let's unpack what's actually inside this new deal and what it could mean for you in the weeks ahead. The new bill is officially called the Continuing Appropriations Act of 2026, and it funds the government through January 30th of next year. In simple terms, it's a short-term budget that keeps things running at last year's levels while Congress works out the bigger disagreements that caused this shutdown in the first place. But it's not just a copy and paste extension. This version includes several new provisions quietly added in the final round of negotiations. It provides full-year funding for the Department of Veterans Affairs, ensuring medical centers and benefit programs for veterans can continue without disruption. It also includes new money for military construction projects, Capitol Police and congressional security upgrades, and the Department of Agriculture, which manages food safety inspections and SNAP benefits. Another key section reimburses states that use their own emergency funds to keep programs like Medicaid, WIC, and food assistance running during the shutdown. It also authorizes the Treasury to issue back pay to all furloughed federal workers and contractors once the government reopens. So, while this isn't a full-year budget, it's a critical stopgap, a reset button after 40 days of chaos that ensures core services, paychecks, and benefit programs can function again, while Congress fights over the next phase of spending. But here's where things get interesting. This deal wasn't supposed to pass. In fact, for weeks, leaders on both sides were saying it couldn't happen without one key issue being solved: healthcare. So how did it suddenly break through? Let's rewind for a second. Here's how we got here. For over a month, the government has been paralyzed because of a fight over expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Democrats wanted those healthcare tax credits extended immediately. Republicans said they'd handle that later. The stalemate triggered a shutdown on October 1st, closing agencies, delaying paychecks, and freezing billions in services. But as the political pressure grew, moderates from both sides, led by Senators Jeanne Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, and Angus King, stepped in. They cut a deal with Republican Majority Leader John Thune and the White House. Reopen the government now, then debate health care later. That compromise was enough to bring both sides together and get the votes. But it's important to understand what it didn't include. Democrats did not secure an immediate extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies, one of their main demands throughout the shutdown. Instead, they received a promise from Senate leaders to hold a vote on the issue later this year, likely in December. It's not a guarantee of passage, but it's a commitment that the healthcare fight isn't over. It's just been delayed until after the government reopens. The White House also made one major concession: a written guarantee that no more federal workers will be laid off or fired during this fiscal year, and that every furloughed employee will receive full back pay. For many families who've missed 2 pay cycles already, that's life-changing news. But that's just the start, because the biggest changes affect you directly. The programs most Americans depend on, Social Security, Medicare, and food assistance, are all tied to this new funding deal. And depending on where you live, it could change how quickly your benefits restart. So let's break that down, starting with Social Security. Even during the shutdown, Social Security checks continue to go out because that money is classified as mandatory spending. But the smaller field offices, the ones where people file new applications, fix benefit errors, or appeal decisions, have been short-staffed or closed entirely. With this bill passing, those offices will fully reopen, staff will return, and processing delays will begin to clear up. That means if you've been waiting on a benefit adjustment or replacement card, help should come much sooner now that funding is back in place. For Medicare and Medicaid, the story is similar. Hospital reimbursements and prescription coverage have continued, but the behind-the-scenes work, billing corrections, provider approvals, claim disputes, slowed dramatically during the shutdown. The new funding bill restarts those administrative operations, so providers can be paid on time and patients won't have to deal with backlog-related errors. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which operates on federal appropriations for much of its staff, can now resume full operations. And then there's SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as food stamps. This has been one of the hardest-hit programs during the shutdown. The Department of Agriculture had warned that states were running out of emergency reserves and that benefit reloads could be delayed or reduced. Now, with this bill passed, funding for SNAP is officially restored through January, meaning the next round of payments should go out normally. That's crucial for the 40 million Americans who rely on it, especially seniors and families living on tight budgets. Just pausing for a moment to share something that could really help you or someone you care about. If you're 65 or older, or helping someone who is, you probably know how overwhelming Medicare can feel. The mailers, the endless calls, all claiming they have the best plan, it's exhausting. When my team and I were looking into this, we came across Chapter, and what stood out wasn't just that they compare all 24,000 plus plans. It was their story. The founders built Chapter after their own parents got stuck in the wrong Medicare plans, and they realized just how many people were being misled or pressured into making choices that weren't right for them. That's what makes Chapter different. Their advisors aren't paid to push one plan over another. They're salaried, independent, and genuinely there to help you. You'll speak with a real person who takes the time to understand your doctors, prescriptions, and preferences and helps you make a decision you feel good about. And the call is totally free. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest support. If you're already in the right plan, they'll tell you. And if not, they'll help you find one that better fits your needs. If you want to talk to someone today, give Chapter a call at 615-639-1937 or visit askchapter.org/money. Again, that's 615-639-1937. It's free, and it might save you a lot of stress. All right, now let's get back to it. So if you're someone who's been worried about missing your next food benefit or waiting on a Social Security adjustment, the bottom line is simple. This vote means things can finally start getting back to normal. Still, this isn't over yet. The bill now heads to the House, where Speaker Mike Johnson faces a narrow majority and vocal opposition from Democrats who still want a firm guarantee on healthcare subsidies. If the House agrees and passes it quickly, the government could be fully reopened within days. If not, we may see another round of negotiations next week. Either way, this Senate vote marks the biggest step toward reopening the country since the shutdown began. And for seniors, veterans, and families on fixed incomes, that step can't come soon enough. It means reopened offices, on-time payments, and renewed stability, even if only for a few months. So as Washington celebrates its late-night breakthrough, the real relief is happening far from the Capitol, in kitchens, pharmacies, and grocery stores, where millions of Americans can finally stop wondering whether the programs they rely on will still be there tomorrow. And that's the question I'll leave you with. Do you think this deal was worth the wait? Or did Congress just delay another shutdown down the road?